morning everyone. Welcome to the computer class. In today's class we are going to basically see two programs. I have written the question on the board over here. I'll just read them out. The first question says, write a function show lowercase in Python to accept a file name and display only those lines which start with a lowercase letter. And the second program says, write a program to display the number of vowels in a file named poem.txt. So let us start from the simpler one, that is the second one. Because the second one doesn't contain any function, the first one contains a function. So you people have already studied what are functions in the previous chapter earlier when I had taught you what are functions. So we are going to come to functions a little later. First of all, I will teach you the easiest one, that is the one without functions. So we'll start from question number 2, and the file which we are going to use is the usual one, that is poem.txt. What we need to do is we have to display the number of vowels, that is we have to count the number of vowels within the file. Now we know what are the vowels: A, E, I, O and U. Now it is not necessary that the user will be entering these in small letters only, they could be in capital letters also. So all these conditions, all these letters have to be considered when we are counting vowels in our program. So let us start doing the program. Because we are performing a read operation, we'll start with fin. So we have open and we are going to provide a file name over here, that is poem.txt. So let me use this one. The third type and the R file mode. And now what I am going to do is, for convenience sake, I am going to read all the lines. Fin.read lines. So I have read all the lines of the program, of the file. And now, before starting with the for loop, we need a variable which will store the number of vowels. So we will take a variable named count and initialize it with the value 0. And for line in lines. Make sure, just pay attention here. Here we have lines and here we have line. Lines contains all the lines within the file, whereas one line is for only extracting one line at a time from the group of lines or the list of lines. As we know that here this lines is actually a list object which contains a list of all the strings. All the strings are what? They are individual lines within the text file. So now when we have read one line, we can write for ch in line. Now ch will extract one character from the line. Suppose the line was, we work very hard. So this is contained in line. Lines of course contains the entire content of the file, and line contains only one line, and from this one line we have to extract one character at a time. So that character would be what? Here we have a space, here we have this. So this character will be saved in ch. So now we will see how we can work on this. If ch in ch falls within any of these values, then count has to be incremented by 1. And once everything completes, after this we are going to print number of vowels equals count. So what will happen? The total number of vowels within the program will be counted. Okay, so we will understand this by working on the computer. So let us move on to the computer now.
So this is the program to count the vowels, number of vowels in a file, and the file is om.txt. Let's see how it runs. So you can see that the program is already over here. Now when I use a read lines function, so read lines function is going to read the entire content in one go, and it is going to save each of them in the form of a string. So each line of the file would be a string which is saved within an outer list, separated by a comma, and it goes on till the end of the program. So now let us take the case of this one line. So when we talk about this program, so the first line for line in lines will extract one line at a time from the list. Suppose it extracts this one line. And now within that we have another nested loop which is for reading each character within the line. So now it reads the characters one by one. The first one is W. So it will first check whether W falls within this list of vowels or not. We can see it doesn't fall, so it will be skipped. Next one is I. So I is a vowel because it matches this, and hence count will be now incremented to 1. Similarly, next one is N, which is not a vowel. Next is D, not a vowel. Then a comma, not a vowel. Then a space, not a vowel. C is also not a vowel. And then we have an O, which is a vowel. So now count will be incremented to 2. Then M, then E. So E is a vowel. It will be incremented to 3. Then a space. Then S. Then O. O is a vowel. So it will be incremented to 4. And this way till the end. And then we come to the next line, that is don't break the shutters. So wherever it finds a vowel, it is going to increment the value of count. And at the end we are going to find out the total number, that is 205 vowels which are contained within this text. Okay, so this is how the program will work.
Now we are going to see the first question, that is write a function show lowercase. So let us start with the first one. So for creating a function we start with the keyword def show lowercase, and it accepts a file name from the user. And what we are going to do is, it is going to display only those lines which start with a lowercase letters. So only those lines have to be displayed which start with a lowercase letters. Let us use the read line function over here. Fin equals open. I am using R again. Files om.txt, and the file mode, that is R for read. Let us take line and let us give it a space character such that line is non-empty. Line is non-empty. And now let us start while line. That while line is non-empty, continue doing these steps. So line equals fin dot read line. So one line will be read into it, and now we have to check does it start with a lowercase letter. Now because line is a string, how can we check? We will use list slicing here. If line 0, that is the first letters, line 0 represents the first letter. If we have the lines like this, we work, you can see over here. So the first letter is what? It has the index 0. So is it a lowercase letter? So how to check that? Dot is lower. So we will just use this function is lower. Alternatively, you can also write if line 0 is greater than equal to greater than equal to small a, and line 0 is less than equal to small z, or you can also shrink it in Python form. If it is greater than or equal to a and less than or equal to z, that is, it lies in between small a and small z. So we can use any of these approaches. I am using the first approach. If this is the case, then we have to display that line. So print line. If that is not the case, this statement won't be executed. And with this we complete the function. Now we come back over here and we will be providing the file name to the program. So for that, now this file name and this file name, they are two different objects, because we know that strings, they are string objects and strings are immutable. Hence this is a different object, that is a different object. Enter file name. And we will call the function. The function doesn't return any value. The function doesn't return any value, so we will simply be printing the function. Usually we will be calling the function as a standalone statement. So this file name which we have accepted from the user will be sent to this function, and all these operations would take place. Okay, so to see how these two functions, how this function works, let's move on to our system.
So let's see how we can create a program which contains a function named show lowercase to display all the lowercase lines in the file. So first we will see the file and we'll try to change some lines within the file. So I'll be going to that folder, and here we have the file. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change certain lines to lowercase. So I have changed certain lines to lowercase, and I'm going to display, my program is going to display only those lines which start with a lowercase letter. So let us see that. We will first start with the name of the function, show lowercase, which accepts the file name, and fin equals open, file name, R. Now what I have done is whatever file name the user gives, this we are going to provide that as an argument over here. But the problem with this file name would be that user will definitely be providing the file name with a single slash, and that to a backslash. But as we have studied, we have to keep it in a specified format. So we will try to change the file name over here Let me explain that to you first. Normally, a file name would be like this, that is files poem.txt. Now, this has to be changed. So we need to either append an R before that, or we need to provide a double slash over here, or we need to replace this with a forward slash. So for doing this, we are going to first stick to the first one, that is providing a double slash. So for doing that, we need another function. So we are going to create that other function, change file name, which will accept the file name as the argument, and now it is going to change that file name. How? The idea is, wherever it finds this single quote, it has to replace this single quote with a double quote. So for that, we need to start reading the content of the file one by one, the file name one by one. That is, first we need to read F, then I, then L, S, and then we'll get a slash. So once a slash is encountered, it should be replaced with a double slash or with a forward slash. So for doing this, we need a function, and let's see how that function works. So for I comma ch in enumerate file name, we are using the enumerate function here because it will attach an ordinal number, that is, it will attach the index of each character along with the character. So if that character is, if it is a single slash, then it should be replaced. Now you can see that we are not getting an auto indentation over here, probably because here it is considering the double quotes as an escape sequence. That is, this whole thing, this slash along with the double quote as an escape sequence. So we don't want this. Hence what we are going to do is we are going to just provide the escape sequence in this way, so that we get the proper indentation. So we can see that ch over here we are trying to check whether we have a single backslash or not. So this whole thing is an escape sequence for backslash character, hence it will check whether ch contains a backslash character or not, because usually a backslash character is used for creating escape sequence for other non-printable and as well as printable characters. So we are going to write here file name equals file name. So now, because file name is a string and a string is usually an immutable variable, okay, so what we need to do is, let me first specify file name in the form of a, so we have a file over here, file name, files poem.txt. So the idea is, every character has to be taken into consideration. So we start reading one character at a time. Suppose we read F, then we read I, then L, then E. So every character will get an ordinal number, as you can see over here. Even this dot, that is period sign. So every character gets an ordinal number over here. Let me write it a bit properly. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 and 13. Now we already detected that if we get a slash backslash character like this, we have to replace it with a double slash. So for getting that, now already I is this value, that is 5. So we need to save the initial part first of all, that is this part, and then we need to also save this part. Only this is the part which is going to be changed. So for doing that, we have to use string slicing operation. So we will be using file name, because we are starting from 0, so the first one we can skip the start index. Our end index would be I, because it has to go up to 4, that is I minus 1, and which is at 4. So we will take it up to I. Along with this, we will concatenate 4 such operators where every pair stands for one backslash. As we know that here we are using an escape sequence for backslash. Okay, this slash is for specifying the escape sequence, and this slash is for specifying the slash, that is the slash character. So that is the reason why we need 4 escape sequence, 4 slashes over here, where every pair will represent one escape sequence for one backslash character, plus file name. Now we need this part, that is poem.txt. So for that we would be writing here I plus 1, because we are starting it from 6, which is I plus 1, and we have to go to the end of it. So we will skip the end index, and this would be our list slicing operation. And finally we could write file name equals this. So let us see how we can do this. So we go back to our program. So file name, and as we had specified, we will skip the first index, and I plus file name I plus 1 and till the end. So this way it will be done, and finally we can return file name. So now what we will be doing is, over here we would be calling this change file name function, which will change the file name, which will change these backslash characters everywhere, which will replace a single backslash character with 2 backslash characters, where 2 backslash characters represent the escape sequence character for one backslash. Okay, and then we can open it, and now we will be reading one line at a time. So we will be taking a line string object over here, non-empty string object, and then we would be using while line, that is while line is non-empty, continue processing. So line equals read one line, that is using the read line function. If line 0, that is if the first character is lower, that means we have to print line, else do nothing. So we'll just go back, and now we will ask for a file name from the user, enter a file name, and we will just call the function show lowercase file name. And once show lowercase file name is called, we will be checking whether it works. So now we will run the program, enter file name, files, poem.txt. Okay, we are getting some error, string index out of range. So let's try to rectify that. We can see that all those lines which are smaller in, which start with a small case, they all are getting displayed. Only thing is, at the end we are getting this mistake that is if line 0 is lower string index out of range, that is because of any particular statement or particular line, that is in case when line doesn't contain any value. So for that purpose we need to also check whether line contains some value or not. Let's take the case of a file. Suppose these are the lines within the file. Now when the while loop starts, if suppose over here we didn't have this line here, so I'm going to remove this, remove the extra indentation. So what happened in this case was, when this is read while line, so in the beginning we can see that line is already non-empty. So when line is when it checks this condition, the condition is true, that is it is non-empty. So now a line will be read. So in the beginning we already know that the pointer is set at the beginning of the file. So once this statement has been executed, the pointer is set over here at the end and it is set at the beginning of the next line. So this way now, because line is not empty, hence this would work fine. So it will continue working fine for all the lines till it gets set over here. So now when it is already set over here at this point, while line will be what? It will be true because line is still non-empty. Line equals read line. This read line will set the pointer at the end over here. And once it sets it over there, now this would be executed successfully because line 0 is what? It is lower character because line is not empty. So this will execute successfully, line will be printed. Now again we go back, so still line is not non-empty because it still contains this line. So now again a line is read. So now when during the next read operation, the pointer was set over here at the end of your file. So now what is read in the line? Your line will contain, now it will contain none because there is nothing to read. And because there is nothing to read, hence at this point, this statement, this if condition, where we are trying to check whether the first character is lower or not, it will fail because now line contains, after this read operation, line contains nothing. So for checking this midway, we have to insert a condition if line, that is if line is not non-empty. So what will happen? Every time it is going to check. So once this has been read, once line contains none, it will check whether line is non-empty or not. So here it checks, it finds that it is empty. Hence it will not execute these two lines and it will again go back to while loop where it finds that line is finally empty and here the loop will be terminated. So this is how this program works.
So we saw how to create programs using file handling, read operation, which could be used for performing some real world operations. In our next class, we will be studying about how to perform write and append operations on a file. Thank you.